The R36s is more powerful. It handles DS games better and has better performance. However, there's a lot to talk about here. For these tests, both devices are running a custom operating system. The Miyoo Mini Plus has Onion OS installed and the R36s has ArkOS installed. Those are supposed to give an overall better performance. The R36s's drastic version, which is the emulator that's emulating DES games, has this annoying blur effect, and it apparently cannot be turned off. I've tried every button combination to get this customization screen that Onion OS has, where you can activate the screen overlay function, which I'm gonna talk about later, and change other things like the filter screen. So here you can pick between a crystal clear pixel visualization or a blur effect. So you can choose between those. And unfortunately, you cannot do that in the more powerful device. This is ridiculous. DS emulation should be an easy pick for the R36s, since it's a considerably more powerful device, but these things, they make you wonder about that. The R36s software doesn't allow you to overlay screens, and that for me is crucial for some games. Having a quick access to a map, or something like that, like in this case the position of each racer, really comes in handy in some games. Having to switch screens makes the game pause for some milliseconds. And using two screens at once really makes things too small. So the R36s is better for DS games because of the better hardware, but it's also worse because of the software. Unless there's a way to change the settings I just showed you, and I've looked up online and tried every combination possible, and apparently there is not. There is also a weird phenomenon that happens when you launch a DS game in the R36s. Like Mario Kart has a solid 60 FPS experience. Pretty much flawless when compared to the Nintendo DS. However, when you open a game, it stutters a bit, as if it wasn't using all of its performance capability. So you need to press R2 twice to swap the main screen and then bring it back. It fixes the problem, but you need to do it every time you launch a game. All the buttons in the Miyoo Mini Plus are better. The D-pad is stellar, and it's just one of the best D-pads in the market today. The R36's one is decent, but you need a bit more force to activate it during gameplay. The other buttons are also top quality in the Miyoo Mini Plus. The shoulder buttons are good in both devices. Don't underestimate them for DS games. You're gonna use them for shortcuts like swapping screens, or in the Miyoo Mini's case, a quick save state. However, the Miyoo Mini Plus's ones may feel a bit too tight for you. They are more slim and less easy to be activated during gameplay. Using the shoulder buttons in the R36s is way more comfortable. They are more spaced out and easier to use. And also bigger. Additionally, and now this is a completely personal taste, the Miyoo Mini's shoulder buttons are almost completely silent. They basically sound like a quiet mouse click. The R36s's ones are loud as heck. I'm not sure if this has necessarily to do with build quality, but using them in a daily basis, for example to jump in Mario Kart, or to rotate the camera in Spyro, it just makes going back to the Miyoo Mini Plus's shoulder buttons a kind of a weird experience, because its mouse clicks give me the impression that they are more delicate and can't be pressed with as much confidence as the R36s's bulky ones. Again, this is all my impressions, and they not necessarily have to do with build quality. For sweaty hands, all the buttons in the R36s gather less hand oil because of their material. It is a detail, but it makes a notable difference in everyday usage for me. It's almost as if its material had a matte finish, while the Miyoo Mini Plus' one had a more glossy finish. So for me, it does gather more oil and requires me to, clean it out with a bit of toilet paper from time to time. Once again, completely personal. I like the sound of the R36s better. It's louder and just better in my opinion. The R36s is more comfortable, period. It's a bigger device that resembles more the size of the original Game Boy Color. Thus, you can handle more gameplay time before your hands get tired. The Miyoo Mini Plus is way faster to just turn on and play. For an actual everyday usage, I can say that this is one of my favorite traditional video games generation, not because of the graphics, but because how fast it is to just turn my Xbox on and quick resume playing the game I was enjoying. I have some pretty quick gaming sessions some days, and this just makes it so more comfortable to just lay in my bed, play for 10 minutes and then just do something afterwards. So let's say your wife is trying some clothes in a clothing store and you just want to play a 2-minute Mario Kart race. How long does it take to turn the device on and get yourself in a match loading a save state? The R36s takes a while to turn on, load the game, and you have to manually load your save states. So right now I'm gonna save a save state and see how long it takes to turn the system on again and load that very same save state. So I'm gonna save this screen here. That's more or less 40 seconds, considering you have a good muscle memory of the overall system and you just select things and open up the game quickly. Let's see how long the same task takes in the Miyoo Mini Plus, remembering that when you turn the system off while playing, it just remembers exactly where you stopped, and when you turn it on again, it just takes you exactly where you were when you turn it off. It's crazy. Those were exactly 15 seconds. So there's a rough 30 seconds difference between those in starting to play your game. The R36s's performance is completely welcome in some games like Mario Kart, but a bit wasted in others like Animal Crossing. Here apparently there's a native FPS lock, so all the advantage goes to the Miyoo Mini Plus because of how handy it is to turn on and start playing. But in other games like Mario Kart, the difference is brutal. The R36s can easily achieve a locked on 60 FPS and the Miyoo Mini Plus just can't. It averages around 30 to 55. So yeah, the extra video performance of the R36s really shines here. The experience is way more smooth in here. The touchscreen simulator in the R36s is also way better, especially because it has a joystick. So when you move the right joystick, you activate the pen, and depending on how you're pushing it, it goes faster or slower, and this helps a lot. And you can click or touch the screen pressing the R3 button. In the Miyoo Mini Plus, you gotta activate it with L2, and then you just touch whenever you want. But you don't have the same level of precision because you don't really have a joystick here. Well, the R36s has the option of having a secondary control scheme in case the first one breaks, the D-pad and the joysticks. But seriously, I didn't know how good it was to have a joystick in a handheld like this before I've tried it. Playing Mario Kart here is a blast, which is weird because the Nintendo DS doesn't even have a joystick or anything like that. What means that even for games that were originally designed to be played with a D-pad can be played with more comfort and sometimes more speed with the joystick here. However, because of that, I wouldn't consider it as pocketable as the Miyoo Mini. I don't want to just throw in my pocket a device that way. Pushing the joysticks to the sides carelessly for long periods of time can cause serious drift problems. You're not having that problem with the Miyoo Mini Plus, it's more flat. And also smaller, so a better companion for everyday pockets maybe. So for a conclusion, if you really want joysticks, you have to get the R36s. If you wish to play more PS1, Game Boy, and just 1 or 2 DS titles like Pokemon, the Miyoo Mini is gonna suit you well. If you really love DS Mario Kart, the R36s might be for you. I would personally get the Miyoo Mini Plus, but I've been catching myself playing in the R36s for hours and hours only because of how good it runs Mario Kart, only because of that. But it also runs PSP and Nintendo 64, consoles that the Miyoo Mini Plus doesn't run at all. Thank you for watching, subscribe.